Hello, welcome to Inside the Summit League. Lots of baseball coming up in a bit. Great start to the Summit League season for Oral Roberts. And nothing new there, of course, but we start with a new basketball coach in Denver this week. Jim Turgeon was introduced as the new women's head coach for the Pioneers.
He is our 10th head coach for the University of Denver, Jim Turgeon.
I'm very happy. You know, like I mentioned in the press conference, I must be a boring person because I have no hobbies and I'm all about basketball and my family. And not in that order, family first, basketball second. And I'm so happy and I can't wait to get started. Right after this, I'm meeting with the team. Well, we'd like to run. We'd like to get out and run and get some easy baskets. And I think people would call me more of a defensive coach. And we play tough man-to-man, so if we're longer and more athletic, we'll be able to put pressure on players. I appreciate everybody's support, and I know this is going to be a really good thing.
Well, Turgeon replaces Carrie Cremines after her contract was not renewed this year. Turgeon has been coaching in the state of Colorado for the last 2 years as the head coach at Division II Colorado State Pueblo. His teams were 54-10 in the last 2 seasons there. Jim Turgeon is the older brother of Mark Turgeon, who is the current men's head coach at the University of Maryland. Well, one other coaching note this week. Summit League Men's Coach of the Year, Craig Smith, is staying at the University of South Dakota. Smith had some contact, that is, with Drake University about taking over there, but Smith declined the offer, and he will keep it right where it is with the Coyotes. He also gets a new 3-year contract from USD. Smith just finished up his 3rd year at South Dakota, and his team won its first ever Summit League regular season championship. Elsewhere, some pretty big player news out of Omaha this week. 3-year starter Trayshawn Thurman says that he is going to go somewhere else to play his last season of college ball. Don't know where that will be yet. Thurman is from Omaha. He just finished up his junior season, averaged about 14 points and 8 rebounds a game. But he told Omaha coach Darren Hansen this week he intends to transfer to another school, presumably a bigger one in a bigger conference. If that is the case, Thurman would have to sit out a year to comply with NCAA rules. Well, we are now officially done with games in the 2017 basketball season. The last Summit League team has been knocked out. Last Sunday in Texas, Fort Wayne taking on Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the quarterfinals of the CIT, the collegeinsider.com postseason tournament. Big alley-oop for John Conchar there for Fort Wayne, and then a drive and a score by Bryson Scott, but the Mastodons get down big early in this game. Corpus Christi goes on a 24-2 run in the first half, and Fort Wayne goes from up by 7 to down by double digits. Corpus Christi built the lead to 21 points in the second half, and they hang on to win it. Fort Wayne senior Mo Evans, by the way, finishes with 20 points, makes 6 3-pointers, and that gives him 100 for the season. He is the second Mastodon in school history with 100, joining Max Landis, who did it last year. But Corpus Christi wins this game 78-62. The Islanders, now with 23 wins on the season, they are on to the CIT semis. Kason Harrell, the only other guy for Fort Wayne with double digits with 14 points. Conchar and Scott held to 8 apiece. The Dons hurt themselves by 19 turnovers in this game, and they end the season with 20 wins and 13 losses. So everybody looking ahead now to next season, and a lot of player signings and commitments going on right now. There is one town in North Dakota, way out in the western part of the state, that has 2 high school players from this little town that will be on Summit League rosters in the near future. Here is Jayson and Dara with that story.
Alphabetically, they're pretty close. But in so many other ways, these 2 leaders on the Dickinson basketball team couldn't be further apart. Anand Moody chose UND. Jordan Meidinger chose NDSU. Anand, a little over 6 feet. Jordan towers over his team at 7 feet. Anand lights it up from the outside, while Jordan commands the paint. Anand always knew he wanted to play hoops. Jordan, on the other hand, didn't find that spark until recently.
Ever since I was in kindergarten, 1st grade, I always knew that, I wanted to do something special with the ability that God gave me. And so, I didn't want to sit in a desk and do what my dad did. So I worked hard, even as, a young kid, just to, get to where I am today.
I didn't really like basketball when I first started. I just kind of like started getting better at it, and I started just liking it more, and then just decided why not just go to college for it.
With so many different traits, we asked them what they'd want most from each other's game.
Honestly, got a pretty good shot, but I think I would take his handles more just so I could maybe bring up the ball and stuff like that.
I think everybody can tell you that. Height. And so, there's a lot of things he can do with that height. He can rebound, he can shot block. He takes pressure from all of us wings that are guarding on the perimeter just because everything that's, coming inside is going to get blocked. And so we don't really have to work as hard. We can, deny the shot more and let them drive because Jordan's going to take care of business. And so just that luxury to have him on my team is just, better than anything I could have asked for.
While their games are very different, they're also very complementary. One thing these guys do have in common is their ability to light up a gym. No one in the state can get on a scoring spree like Anand.
It honestly, it just feels like, playing basketball at the community center. Just feels like everything's going in. And so, when, I do get in a certain rhythm like that, and I do, I just like to take advantage of it and just, play smart and take my shots.
And Jordan can ignite the crowd with his ability to flush it.
When I was first started dunking, I didn't really think it was a big deal, but everyone else just gets really crazy about it, so I do it more often just to get the crowd pumped and get into the games.
Dickinson has risen to the heights of Class A basketball with the great leadership from this duo. But to take it to a state championship level is the goal.
I'd say we're an elite just to put ourselves above that top tier. I think, really we need to play a full 36 minutes, and so we haven't really put in a whole defensive game yet. And I think once we can really figure it out and make some adjustments at halftime and really put in 2 good halves, I think we're going to be a really dangerous team.
I think we've been doing an awesome job, maybe on offense, maybe getting more boards and putting those back in and stuff like that. But other than that, I think we're doing a great job and just need to keep on heading up.
Dickinson finished 3rd in the North Dakota State tournament this year. Anand Moody, who will play for the University of North Dakota when they join the league next year, he scored 35 points in his last high school game. Moody averaged just over 31 a game this season. And Jordan Meidinger will be the only 7-footer in the league when he gets to North Dakota State this fall. And speaking of the Bison, congrats on some great grades to those guys. The Summer League Academic All-League team honors 5 players, and 3 of them are from North Dakota State, led by A.J. Jacobson, who was on this team for the 3rd year in a row. Jacobson has a 3.99 GPA in pre-dentistry. He also started 29 games for North Dakota State this year, scored about 11 points a game. Paul Miller has a 3.48 in accounting, and he was a first-team All-Summit League this year, scored 19 points a game in his junior season. And the 3rd Bison on the Smart Squad is Kai Cabellas. Sophomore has a 3.8 GPA in business administration. He led the Bison in assists this season. And those 3 are joined on the Academic All-League team by Matt O'Leary at IUPUI, senior management major, 3.81 GPA, scored 14 points a game this year for the Jaguars. And Albert Owens at Oral Roberts, junior with a 3.62 in history. He was 4th in the league in scoring this year and led ORU at just over 17 points a game. And big congratulations to all. Well, up next, they have been the Summer League preseason favorites in baseball forever, and they are again this year. The why and the what and the who regarding ORU coming up next.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, South Dakota Corn, and Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort.
Welcome back to Inside the Summit League. Well, this is definitely not breaking news, but Oral Roberts has dominated Summit League baseball in the last 2 decades. The Golden Eagles have won the regular season and the league tournament in 16 of the last 18 years. The 2 years they didn't are the 2 years that Oral Roberts was in the Southland Conference. But they've been back for 3 years now. Summit League favorites again this year. Here are Coach Fulmer and his guys on the expectations, the goal of getting to Omaha for the College World Series, and their new artificial turf infield at their home ballpark in Tulsa.
Every new season is different because you're going to have a new team every year, and I think some of the basic expectations stay the same, but some of the individual goals will change. But I think that we carry the same basic same basic end goal and drive from season to season.
To get to Omaha, I mean, the thing is, like, taking every day, like, as one day at a time, and just, you know, being ourselves, because we know we can compete with anybody in the country, and Fulham says it himself. You know, teams call them, and it's like, hey, you want to play? Then let's play. It doesn't matter who they are. We're not scared, and, like, we just want to play people, and that's how we're going to get better. So I think just continuing to play good competition and, you know, day in and day out, that's gonna get us to Omaha. Any guy on our team, any coach on our team, we truly believe that we can beat anybody in the country, and that's just how it is. That's not being like that's not being cocky, but you know, we're confident. We really are, and I think that's how a lot of people are, and how a lot of Division I athletes should be.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We plan to go as far as we can with the end goal being Omaha.
It's huge for us because we get there's not going to be any rain delays and stuff, and I think especially with me and all the rest of the guys, it's less maintenance for all of us, so that usually helps us out tremendously.
I've thrown on turf mounds before, and some of them have been a little sticky as far as just getting caught with my cleats, but it's felt really good so far, so I think we're all pretty happy with it.
I think just having the turf, it allows us to get out here no matter what the conditions are. It rains some days, but we can still get out here and get after it.
It's a lifestyle changer for us, and I know that's hard to imagine, but you know, the hours that we spend working on the field, getting it ready to go and getting it prepared, you know, a lot of time now we're able to focus on other things, whether it be recruiting or preparation or just being at home and spending time with your family. So it's been a welcome addition.
Oral Roberts is 11-4 on that home turf so far this season. They are 6-0 in Summit League play, and the Eagles hosting the Jackrabbits, and the rest of the week in baseball coming up next. Welcome back to baseball. 2 weeks into Summit League play, and Oral Roberts is on top of the league right now at 6-0. There are 3 teams tied right now at 3-3, including Omaha. And the Mavericks with a 3-game sweep at Fort Wayne last week. They have the player and the pitcher of the week. Grant Supanchik is a sophomore from Papillion, Nebraska. First player of the week honors for him. 7 for 14 in that Fort Wayne series. He had 4 doubles in the first 2 games, and then 3 hits, including his first home run of the season in Game 3, and also scored 4 times in that series. Omaha senior Sam Murphy is the pitcher of the week. Lefty with a 7-inning complete game in a 14-1 win over Fort Wayne, and he had 16 strikeouts. That is a Division I record at Omaha. Here are the highlights of the week with South Dakota State at Oral Roberts and North Dakota State at Western Illinois. North Dakota State takes Game 1 at Western Illinois behind 2 big performances. Luke Lind on the mound, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts. And Logan Bush at the plate. Bush goes 4 for 5, a single, 2 doubles, and a home run for Bush. He drives in 4 runs for NDSU. Deion Thompson cranks out 2 home runs for Western Illinois, but NDSU takes Game 1 7-5. And then jump ahead to Game 3. North Dakota State's pitchers take over. Jordan Harms with the start, goes 6 innings, strikes out 7. The Bison get some great defense out in center field. Alec Abercrombie, great grab on the run. And then Kevin Folman comes in to close it out. No hits, no runs in 2 1/3. The Bison win Game 3 1-0 to take 2 out of 3 on the road. And in Tulsa, the Oral Roberts sweep of South Dakota State. Game 1 goes 13 innings. ORU wins it on an RBI single by Sam Grellner. And Oral Roberts wins 3 in a row, 7-6, 11-5, and 6-2 over South Dakota State. Well, South Dakota State has its Summit League home opener this Friday. The Jacks hosting Fort Wayne. Here's the rest of the Summit League schedule. Up next, the rundown on the opening weekend of Summit League play in softball. Welcome back. Now to softball, and 1 week into the Summit League season, 1 series sweep so far, and that was IUPUI at home against South Dakota State. And Nicole Finch of IUPUI is the pitcher of the week after winning all 3 of those games for the Jaguars. She goes 17 innings, gives up 14 hits, strikes out 12. Winner, winner, winner chicken dinner 3 times for Finch. She is tied for the league lead and wins right now at 9, and IUPUI is off to a 3-0 start in Summit League play. The player of the week is Kayla Fields at South Dakota, a senior from Roseville, California, honored for the first time. 6 for 10 at the plate, 6 RBI in 3 games against Western Illinois. Fields with 3 hits and a home run in that opening game of the series against the Leathernecks, and here are the highlights to prove it. Saturday in Macomb, Illinois, cloudy, wet, and cool for the Leathernecks hosting the Coyotes. Western Illinois blows open Game 1 with 5 runs in the 3rd inning. Holly Holting hammers that over the fence for a 2-run shot. And then a single and a single and another home run, this one by Taylor Messer. Leathernecks take a 7-0 lead. Here's a home run by the Player of the Week, Kayla Fields for South Dakota. Each team with 3 dingers in the game, but Western wins Game 1 9-4. Coyotes come back in Game 2, but not before Western cranks out 3 homers in the bottom of the 1st inning. Kelsey Marlowe, Holly Holting, and Megan Henson go back to back to back, and the Leathernecks have a 4-0 lead. South Dakota, though, scores 6 in the top of the 2nd. A 2-run double by freshman Camille Fowler. Jamie Holscher and Morgan Vasa score. And then the Player of the Week again, Kayla Fields, cannot be contained by the ballpark. 3-run home run. She drives in 5 in this game, and the Coyotes pour it on. They win Game 2 15-4. And then a 1-run game in the series finale. South Dakota again with 6 runs in the 2nd inning, capped off by an opposite field home run by Emily Winkler, and it's 6-0 USD. But Western Illinois gets 3 back in the 5th. They hit 2 more home runs, one by Peyton Abbott and one by Rachel Beatty. And then move to the bottom of the 7th inning. South Dakota leading 8-3. But Brooke Stolga leads off with a home run for Western. They had 8 different players hit a home run in this series. Peyton Abbott drives in 2 more with a single. That makes it 8-7. And then Rachel Beatty with a single to tie it at 8. And Western will win it on a twisting, spinning bouncer to shortstop. The Leathernecks take 2 out of 3 at home against South Dakota. Meanwhile, here is some of that Pitcher of the Week performance by Nicole Finch at IUPUI. Came in relief in Game 1 against South Dakota State. 3 innings, 1 hit, gets the win there. Comes back on the same day to get the win in Game 2. 7 innings, gives up just 5 singles, and strikes out 5. And then 7 more innings the next day. Finch allows 8 hits and a couple of earned runs, but gets her 3rd win in 2 days. And Ronnie Patterson, by the way, for IUPUI, 6 for 10 in this series as the Jaguars get the 3-game sweep. Western Illinois goes to Omaha this week. South Dakota is home against South Dakota State. Here's the softball schedule for this weekend. Up next, the Summit League Indoor Track and Field Athletes of the Year, led by a freshman national champion in the pole vault. We'll hear from Chris Stilson at South Dakota on his national championship.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, South Dakota Corn, and Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort.
Welcome back. There were some outstanding individual seasons in indoor track and field this year in the Summit League, and the league head coaches have voted. These are your indoor athletes of the year. You got Rachel King at South Dakota State. Sophomore won the 3,000 meter and the 5,000 meter runs at the Summit League Championships. Rose Jackson at North Dakota State. Senior set a new league record in the pentathlon at this year's indoor championships. She also won the 200 and the long jump and ran a record-setting 4x4 relay with the Bison. Joel Reichow at South Dakota State. Senior is the first Jackrabbit male to win this award. He won both the mile and the 5,000 meters at the Summit League Championships. He set new school and league records this year in the 5,000. And there is Chris Nilsson at South Dakota. Freshman, won all 7 events he was in. He won the indoor championship at a record height in the pole vault, and then he won the NCAA National Championship by clearing 18 feet 8 1/4 inches. That is 5.70 meters. It is the 2nd time this year he had reached that height. He is the first Summer League freshman to win a national indoor title. And here is Nilsson and his coach Derek Miles just after that winning moment.
The goal wasn't to win, the goal was to PR. And that goal wasn't reached, but I'm glad to stay consistent at 570 and jump that again. This time was a little bit better than last time, but I'm happy with the results. And then I'm stoked right now. I don't think everything's hit me yet.
Like any normal meet, we wanted to be aggressive and we wanted to try to PR, and that was the main goal, is keep the head down. But at some point midway through the meet, we kind of started doing some things to strategically make sure we win, and I think that got us a little on the defense. So about halfway through there, we switched gears, we went back on the offense, and I think luckily it worked out. We passed the height and went to 18-4 and made that, and then went to 18-8. So I think we got him back in the groove once he got kind of on the aggressive side again. So we wanted to kind of be conservative enough to try to win it, but at the same time, I didn't want to get him out of his comfort zone and what he's been doing. So that was kind of the game plan. It switched in the middle, and we went after it, and it worked. And then to come in and have to perform as a freshman in the biggest stage, I think those are the things that you kind of want to see how he reacts to as a coach. And I mean, when the meat kicked in and he had to go, he was on it. So it's fun to see him kind of perform and really kind of exceed what he had been doing all year. We're in new territory when you have a freshman that can come in and just be really clicking and jumping well and every week progressing. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'd love to see where we're going to end up in the next year, but I mean, whatever I put out there, it's probably going to be a little conservative. I think he's going to exceed it. So that's going to be the fun part, is just continuing to find what his ultimate potential is, and just a step-by-step process to get there.
Well, Nilsson is picked up right where he left off in the outdoor season now. He won the Baldy Castillo invite at Arizona State 2 weeks ago. He went 18 feet 6.5 inches there, and he and the Yotes are at the Texas Relays coming up this weekend. See you next week.